Off the heels of a banner night for Monday Night Raw at the Money in the Bank pay per view, what is the fallout? How would they follow up? We're about to find out. Hello, friends, and welcome to Ridiculously Raw, the most must see show on YouTube today. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Floyo, here, joined by my elite panel as always. We have the Phenom Michael Bullock here. We also have the Twisted Angel Edie Woodson. Fortunately, good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be joining us this evening due to work commitments beyond his control. He will, however, be back with us tomorrow night over on his channel, Braves Fan 95, for another installment of the Cerebral Smack Talk. That's a big show. I'll get into that at the end of the show. So, yes, so we were waiting to find out what was going to happen on Monday Night Raw. How was Raw going to follow up the banner night that they had last night at the Money in the Bank pay per view? Was they won both Money in the Bank contract matches? So let's find out. We start off with one of them. Well, the one who came out really the biggest winner, if you really think about it. Our brand new Raw Women's Champion, once again, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss won the Money in the Bank ladder match last night, the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. A couple hours later, cashed in on Nia Jax and regained her Raw Women's Championship, much to the chagrin of Dee Dee Woodson, mostly. But I think Dee Dee's gonna like what happened on this night. Well, it really started with General Manager Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle introduced Alexa Bliss, and Alexa did her usual shtick, healing it up to the crowd and the whole 9 yards. And then that brings out Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey showed up, and then Alexa Bliss, well, ran her mouth, went to the well once too many times, and well, she basically called Ronda Rousey an overhyped rookie. And well, let's just say that set the Rowdy one off. And Ronda Rousey, oh my goodness, she raised hell. Oh, did she raise hell? Went to town on Alexa Bliss, and then put her hands on Kurt Angle, and then she put her hands on referees, and then ultimately powerbombed Alexa Bliss through a table. Yeesh. Oh, good gravy, Marie. What a segment. I mean, I can honestly say this was the segment of the night for my taste. I mean, the crowd was red hot into this. Maybe not as vocal as Chicago. We all know Chicago's the IWC capital of the world for a reason. Don't believe me? Go back and watch both NXT Takeover Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank, and you'll find out why. But but hey, Grand Rapids had their moments tonight. The Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and yeah, man, that crowd was really hyped for this. And say what you want about Alexa, but she's really good, and we've seen that humble swerve one too many times from her. Crowd had fun with her. They didn't really react to that part of it, but I WWE was clearly trying to play up Rousey as the sore loser, and going crazy on Alexa was logical, and even taking Kurt Angle down in the heat of the moment was fine. But the crowd, I think they seemed to confuse the crowd by having her beat Kurt Angle with that briefcase as well. But then after the segment, after when it was all said and done, Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle had a backstage moment, and Kurt Angle suspends Ronda Rousey for a period of 30 days, effective immediately. I think they did that to write her off TV for the next month, which also means she will most likely not be a part of the next pay per view event, which is Extreme Rules on July 15th at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. So for me, I can honestly say this was the segment of the night. I mean, this was well done, amazing. And Ronda, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a lot of great anti-authority characters in WWE's past. I mean, the greatest of all time, obviously, was Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've had others, like Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose, and nowadays Seth Rollins, and we'll get into him in a minute. But Ronda Rousey, oh yeah, that's a great anti-authority character right there. And Man alive. I mean, Raw's not going to be the same for the next month without her, but I'm sure once Extreme Rules is done and we start to build the SummerSlam, then we're going to, get Ronda back into circulation. And Ronda's going to be a part of SummerSlam in some way. So that's all I can say on that. So well done. For me, this was the segment of the night because of how well it came out, mainly because of that crowd and because of Ronda. Ronda was the star of the segment, hands down. So really nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. I mean, man, what a way to start off Raw. Segment of the night. Ronda Rousey basically channeling her inner Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you will.
Yeah, and basically stomping a mud hole in Alexa Bliss, and let's just say Alexa Bliss. I mean, come on, Flora, you got to admit Alexa Bliss got exactly what she deserved. I mean, she ran her mouth one too many times, and when is she going to learn what happens when you anger the baddest woman on the planet? Bad things are going to happen, and that's what happened to you, Alexa Bliss. And oh, by the way, Alexa Bliss, you say she is an overhyped rookie. I think the one person who is overhyped is you, Alexa Bliss, because Ronda Rousey has accomplished more in her career than you have in your entire WWE career. I mean, yeah, you're a 5-time champion, but you take shortcuts the way you always done. So get that through your thick skull, you little, well, I mean, if it was on Fletcher's channel, I would say that word, but we're on Floria's channel, so I'm going to be a good little boy and not say that word, but you guys get what I'm going with. But yeah, I mean, this was definitely the segment of the night, and yeah, this basically writes her off TV for now, and we're going to see Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, and I'm going on the record of saying this, and Florio, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on it. SummerSlam, it's going to be Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title, because this is the time she's going to get her payback. So, segment of the night, nothing else to say except Alexa Bliss, show some respect. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
She don't know how to show respect. Clearly, she don't know how to show respect. She's already out.
The only person she respects is herself.
Yeah, she's already out there calling herself the one word that we all know that I don't like her calling herself. And it infuriates me.
Well, she probably would say, I don't give a damn what you say, Dee Woodson. My opinion is the only thing that counts.
And then I would probably go all Ronda Rousey on her.
And I'd say, do it, Dee Dee.
Just hearing her voice is enough to just irk me, because she plays all innocent, and then 2 seconds later, I did it to show all you. Yeah, you did it because you think you're better than everybody else. And we know you think you're better than everybody else. We don't care what you think. We're the WWE Universe, and we're the ones that's actually paying the company to pay your damn paychecks.
And Dee Woodson, you want to know who's a more respectable champion? The one who's on SmackDown Live, even though she's not champion, but you know who I'm going with. A queen, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's remember one thing. Charlotte Flair kicked your ass at Survivor Series.
But yeah, I definitely saw that coming with Ronda Rousey coming out there and attacking Alexa Bliss, because basically everything that she did the night before, why wouldn't you defend yourself the following night? taking the briefcase, beating Alexa with it, just like she got beaten herself. Love the added touch of the table. I was sitting there hollering at the TV, put her through the table right before she did it, so I was really glad she did that. And I expected Kurt Angle to do something like suspending her for, mainly for her attacking, not only the officials, but attacking him and, everything. So, definitely segment of the night. Not going to say too much more about it because I think I've already hit all the high horse points for right now. So let's just move on.
Yeah, that Twisted Angel right there, and we just saw the Twisted Angel side of Didi Woodson, and of course the Byron Saxton side of Michael Bullock, which is.
And don't forget my inner phenom.
Yep. Wham, it's fine as well. You just had your wham.
Hey, you watch your Florio, or I'm burying you 6 feet under.
Fair enough. You just had kidding, your wham.
Hey, I'm just kidding, man.
I'm about to have mine. I'm about to have my wham moment.
Oh boy.
Something happened on this show tonight that it's not really not sitting well with me right now. We had the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins coming out fresh off of his grueling win over Elias last night in a near show stealer of a match, which we all knew it would be. Seth being the fighting champion and the frontline soldier that he is from Monday Night Raw, he issues an open challenge. And it was answered by the one and only show-off and former 5-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion in his own right, Dolph Ziggler, accompanied by his tag team partner, Drew McIntyre. When it was all said and done, the winner of the match in 18 minutes and 45 seconds. Good gravy, Maria. I can't believe I'm saying this. There is no joy in Mudville tonight, my friends, because the winner of the match, like I said, 18 minutes and 45 seconds, and the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the show-off, Dolph Ziggler. Oh, Michael Bullock, I mean, we say it a lot when things don't go our way on our show. And it never was more true tonight than when I say there is definitely, at least for the night, no joy in Mudville.
Well, let's just say this, Florio. I guess Dolph Ziggler got sick and tired of you calling him, what was that? Wrestling with his big girl panties. Is that what it is?
Yes, that's been a part of our chats over the years. SmackDown or
Raw. Well, I'll bet you right now he's saying, "How do you like me now, Florio? Who's wearing the big girl panties now?"
Yeah, probably what he is saying.
Yeah. To me, I'm gonna give this. I can only give this 3.5 because we had ourselves a roll up, and Dolph Ziggler pulling the tights and getting the win. I can't believe you got to mention that, Florio. As your idol Jesse the Body Ventura would say, this was such a good match, no doubt about it. But if we didn't have the roll up, I could have pulled the trigger and given it a 4-star rating. But because of the roll up and the pulling of the tights, I can only give it 3.5 stars. And Seth Rollins is going to get his rematch. It's going to be at Extreme Rules, so you can mark that down. So nothing else to say. 3.5 stars. Could have given it 4, but like I said, the roll up and the pull of the tights took a little bit away from it. So nothing more to say. Didi Whitson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. 3.5 stars. I'll say this much. At least McIntyre didn't get involved in the match. He stayed on the outside. It may have crossed his mind, but he never officially jumped in and did anything. So I will give him that much respect for that. But yeah, it was sad to see Rollins lose tonight. But everybody was I guess, ranting today that they didn't think Rollins should have won last night. So they got their wish tonight, and he loses it to Ziggler. So we'll see what happens in this next month as this feud starts to build for their rematch at Extreme Rules. So not much more I have to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
I have to correct you, my friends. The rematch is not going to be at Extreme Rules. It's going to be next week on Monday Night Raw on the next next Monday's show.
Oh, so I got it wrong. So
yes, you did. And also, my friends, you left out one other detail. Fight of the night. Hello, this was the fight of the night.
I was thinking that, but I'm tired. My brain's not working.
Fair enough. What about you, Bullock?
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but man, it's been a long, busy day, especially with this hot weather.
Oh yeah, hot weather indeed. So or as I call it, extreme heat. That's all there is to say on that. But nonetheless, I'm glad you agree with me on this. This was indeed the fight of the night. Absolutely, no doubt about it. 3.5, solid 3.5 stars. I agree with the rating. This was very good. They told a good story with Rollins being injured, him having to use the tights last night to retain out of desperation, and finally falling here to Dolph Ziggler. That's all well and good, but why Dolph Ziggler? It feels so been there and done that. If not Elias last night, you could have made an argument for Drew McIntyre, even though Drew McIntyre is also a former champion. I mean, if you want to get McIntyre over, you could have easily had Drew McIntyre win the title here tonight.
Or anybody else.
Exactly right. But Dolph Ziggler.
But why Dolph Ziggler? Why?
I guess they want to try to make him relevant again. I guess they finally...
Well, to me, I think it's too late for that.
Yeah, much too late indeed. But next week in San Diego, Seth Rollins will have a chance to regain the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and I'm kind of hoping he does. But my gut's telling me Ziggler's going to find a way. Maybe Drew's going to get involved here. I don't know, but it just depends where they place it. Hope if they're smart, they'll make it the main event. That's what I'd really like to see. I like to see this as the main event tonight instead of some randomly thrown together tag team match. Oh wait, I think I might have foreshadowed something, but nonetheless, 3.5 stars. This was easily the fight of the night for me. Although there was one other match that was close, but not quite. But that's all I can say on that. So Dolph Ziggler now a 6-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And I still don't, I mean, that's news to me, Didi. I didn't even know there were fans out there who were actually upset about Seth Rollins successfully defending. I mean, they were probably Elias fans. That's all I can say about that. So,
well, they were also upset about Alexa Bliss too. So,
oh yes, there was one young lady that I saw on Twitter, and she was even angrier than you were, Didi Woodson. No doubt about it. She was more angry than you.
She must have really went to town on Alexa Bliss.
A lot of F-bombs, SH bombs, the whole 9 yards. I'll park it there. So.
Let's just say she is basically, well, as Big Cass would once say, SAWFT, soft.
Okay. Now we got to move on, unfortunately, to the nasty business of the show, which is cutout time. And we had Bobby Roode continue Kurt Hawkins' losing streak, which is now 204. Well, or as I say, infinity. So 43 seconds. That's all I can say on that. No comment. We're just going to move on here to, well, here's something much more positive. Mr. Monster in the Bank himself, Braun Strowman. He comes out and he cuts a promo. He cuts his first promo after winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match last night. Basically announces his intentions to cash in on Brock Lesnar. And he gets interrupted by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens basically trying to play master manipulator here. They have a handshake, but then Braun crushes his hand and teases a running power slam, but Kevin Owens bails out. So strong words from our Monster in the Bank. So I'm, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys. If you want to get into it, we will. If you want to move on, fine with me. I just want to run it by you. I just don't want to make any mistakes. So Bullock or Didi, do you guys want to get into this or not really? I mean, it's up to you guys. I'll take it for a spin if I have to.
No comment.
Fair enough. So, okay. So I'll take it for a spin here. Kevin Owens trying to be the master manipulator is always good. He's such a good, a-hole heel. Everybody knows that. But he keeps trying to do everything he can to get his way. So we're just going to leave it at that. Then we had another cutout match. Our Raw Tag Team Champions, the Woken Warriors, the leaders of worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, over Heath Slater and Rhino. They win it in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. 1-star fight. Champs get another quick win, which is great for their momentum. But their matches just are not interesting at all. However, with them winning, of course, my fellow Woken Warriors, Brother Bullock and Sister Woodson, I know they're just as happy and, well, actually, they should be delighted about what happened tonight. And Slater and Rhino, wonderful and delightful. And you know what that means? Green beans and squish fish patties on a bun.
For everyone. Yeah. Yes. And I'm feeling more woken after watching that Hardy's 24 special.
Indeed. That great series. I mean, if you don't have the WWE Network, get it, because I mean, every single WWE 24 documentary has been top notch, and I haven't seen this one yet. I will eventually. Yeah, the Hardy documentary that they premiered last night following Money in the Bank. From what I heard and from what I saw, looks good. I definitely want to check that out. I haven't yet, but I will. So I'm just gonna park it there. But yeah, so 3 minutes and 15 seconds, nice quick win for Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. And, there's more foreshadowing for that eventual Raw Tag Team Championship match against the B Team. I thought it would have been at Money in the Bank. They didn't do it. Maybe they'll save it for Extreme Rules. You don't know. We'll see. So we'll just park it there. So move on to another cutout match. Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, or as Bullock and I like to call him, Jinder Mahal. He went up against Chad Gable. Jinder Mahal wins the match, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Okay. I do have a comment on this. I'd like to see Chad Gable go to 205 Live. I think he could have some great matches over there. He could have some great matches on that roster. I think he's getting completely wasted and lost in the shuffle on Monday Night Raw. That was exactly what I was fearing would happen. He had his one moment in the sun when he beat Jinder Mahal, some time ago. But since then, what has he done for me lately? He hasn't done anything for me lately on Monday Night Raw. And I think a move to 205 Live would greatly benefit him. Gable was great in defeat, but, Jinder was Jinder. So I'm just going to park it there. We're going to move on to a women's tag team matchup. Sasha Banks and Bayley squaring off against two members of the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. Winners of the match. Unfortunately, I don't have a time at the moment. I'm going to try to find that for you folks in just a moment. But nonetheless, it was Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan who pick up the win. And obviously, okay, we got something slow going on here. Just bear with me. We got a frozen screen. Okay. Yes. Just bear with me for a minute. I know how Bullock is about times of the falls, so I'm gonna get that for you right now.
8:05.
Well, I have 8 minutes on my end. 8 minutes to 8 minutes and 5 seconds in Didi's case. Riot Squad wins, but after the match and throughout the rest of the night, Sasha and Bayley, oh my goodness, we finally got it. We finally got the implosion. And Didi Woodson, come on in. Your thoughts on the match and then the all-out implosion of Bayley and Sasha. We knew it was going to happen eventually, and tonight they finally decided to pull the trigger.
Between At 1.5 stars. You know, the Riot Squad looks pretty strong on this. But Sasha and Bayley, I mean, they were kind of not together throughout the whole match. So then there at the end, you know, after the Riot Squad winning, I mean, Bayley goes to check on Sasha, and then, you know, all hell basically breaks loose. So, yeah, it was it's definitely not Bayley's night tonight. She not only lost the match, but she lost a friend, it looks like, too. So we'll have to see how this plays out. This may end up turning into a match itself. So not much more I have to say about it. Anthony, I toss it back to you.
I'm gonna give it 2 stars for the effort. It was an okay match, and you know, they were clearly back to the Sasha and Bayley issues, and at that point it would have been easier to care if they hadn't stopped and started it so many times. But you know, it was what it was, and I mean, we knew it was gonna happen. We knew it was gonna, you know, go down eventually, but that's really all I can say on that. So, and it just imploded throughout the night, and they finally pulled the trigger on it. So, Sasha and Bayley no more, and it's obviously going to lead, probably will lead to some sort of a match, maybe at Extreme Rules. We'll wait and see. So that's all I can say there. So I'm going to give it a solid 2 for the effort. Bullock, it's yours.
What did you give the rating for?
8 minutes, 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna give it about 1.5 stars as the rating on the match. But the implosion of Bayley and Sasha Banks, I mean, we knew this was definitely coming, especially after what we saw after the match, and then backstage. Woo! Sasha Banks, she wasn't gonna, she just wasn't gonna hear it anymore. I mean, holy smokes! I mean, that was just crazy what we saw from those two. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, could we get some kind of a match with Sasha and Bayley at Extreme Rules with some kind of stipulation? We're just gonna have to wait and find out. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move right along, Florio.
We move on to an interesting segment here. Kurt Angle comes back out, and he was going to make some sort of a big announcement, but he then gets interrupted by Roman Reigns, and then he gets interrupted again by Bobby Lashley, and Kurt Angle makes an announcement that at Extreme Rules there's going to be some sort of multi-man match, and the winner of that match will be the next challenger for Brock Lesnar in the Universal Championship. My guess is, since they're doing this at Extreme Rules, I'm guessing that Universal Championship match with Brock Lesnar is probably going to be at SummerSlam. That's my guess. So wouldn't surprise me in the least if that's what they're doing here. So and then it actually led into a tag team match. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley teaming up against the Revival. And of course, Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley win the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. They pick up the win here. So, or 6 minutes and 15 seconds. It's within 6:15 to 6:20. Let's put it that way. Between 6:15 and 6:20, Reigns and Lashley pick up the win. Wow. Thoughts on all this? Well, you recall at last year's Extreme Rules, we had a fatal 5-way match, which ended up being under Extreme Rules, and Samoa Joe went on to win that. And unfortunately, he did not win the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar at the one and done Great Balls of Fire event, even though it was a surprisingly halfway decent show last summer. We all remember that. But Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley are 2 of the men who will compete in that multi-man match at Extreme Rules, and I mean, I thought the segment setting it up was fine. I mean, I would say maybe that was the second best segment of the night. I mean, both men showed good intensity here, and hey, no more of that ridiculous, goofy, smiling Bobby Lashley, during that god awful feud with Sami Zayn. I guess that thankfully is now one and done, and now Bobby Lashley finally on to bigger and better things. And I think they're slowly but surely starting to build up that walking Armageddon side of Bobby Lashley. And if we can get that walking Armageddon Bobby Lashley, good. That's all I can say on that. That's the Bobby Lashley that we should have had all along. Not that SAWFT guy that was running around those goofy smiles and having that god awful feud with Sami Zayn. Don't even get me started on how awful that thing was. So yeah, so segment was fine. As far as the match is concerned, 2.25 stars. I mean, it was an okay match to build some drama between Bobby and Roman, and it also served as a reminder that the Revival are beyond irrelevant at this point. So that's a damn shame. I mean, another one of the most successful tag teams in NXT history, just like the Ascension. And look what they did to the Ascension. They buried them in no time, and I thought it was going to be different with the Revival, but oh boy, was I wrong. Say yeah, say no. That's all I can say on that. So, alrighty, Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on all of this. Multi-man match at Extreme Rules. Winner gets Lesnar for the Universal Championship, most likely at SummerSlam, I'm thinking. Lashley and Roman, 2 of the men in it. And then they made a little bit of some quick work against the Revival, even though the Revival gave him an effort, though.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good segment. I mean, yeah, it looks like they're going to build Bobby Lashley back up to that walking Armageddon, which we were expecting him to be. So, and with this match at Extreme Rules to determine the next challenger to Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship, we're going to see who else gets added to it. And as far as the match goes, I'll give it 2.25 stars. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So I'm just going to give it to Dee Woodson.
Yeah, I agree. 2.25 stars. And I'm just going to toss it over because my brain's shutting down.
Okay, we'll try to get through. We'll try to get you out of here as quickly as we can. Cutouts will help, and we had another cutout here. We had Mojo Rawley against No Way Jose, and hey, Mojo Rawley actually wins the match, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It was basically a main event match. That's all it was. The main event show on the WWE Network. That's basically what it was. So then we had Elias actually doing a song uninterrupted. So he ran down Rollins, put himself over, and also made a case for the Extreme Rules match during the song. So we're just going to park it there. And then the main event of the evening, a randomly thrown together tag team match. Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor going up against Kevin Owens and the Constable, Baron Corbin. And when all was said and done, the winners of the match in 16 minutes and 38 seconds, Constable Corbin and Kevin Owens. And Constable Corbin with the end of days on Finn Balor for the wins. So, Michael Bullock, how about that main event, huh? What a win for the Constable.
What was the time again?
16 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3 to 3.5 stars on the match. I mean, what a win for Constable Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens to get a win over Finn Balor and Mr. Money in the Bank Braun Strowman. So yeah, who knows what to expect now? I mean, so to me, there's really nothing more to say. So Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars. It was a very good match. Seeing Strowman using Finn as a weapon was kind of a interesting. But all said and done, yeah, Corbin picked up the win on 10. So not much more I had to say about it. Let's put a bow on it.
Well, I got to give you my thoughts, and this was to me the second best fight of the night on my end. Solid 3 stars. That's the best I can give it. Overall, good and fun main event. Showcase for Corbin. I'll tell you what, Monday Night Raw desperately needs some meaningful heels, so the effort to give the Constable a boost was logical. They've given him chances before, and it hasn't worked out, mainly on SmackDown Live. You remember a year ago, he won the Money in the Bank briefcase and became one of only 3 people to fail to win with the briefcase. You remember, and Bullock, you should know, you and MF were there, right in our neck of the woods at the Dunkin' Donuts Center when he tried to cash in on then WWE champion Jinder Mahal, and John Cena distracted him, and Corbin got rolled up, and Jinder walked out of Providence with the gold, and that's the story there. So I'm hoping this time it's different, and I was one of the few who were high about Baron Corbin going to Monday Night Raw, and I thought it was a welcome addition at first, and then they made him this Constable character, which I thought was ridiculous, but they actually put him in a match, and he actually won. So, and he won it decisively over one of the top guys and our first ever Universal Champion, Finn Balor. So, yes, indeed. So, really nothing more to say on that. Solid 3 stars. That was easily the second best fight of the night. So, all right, we're gonna put the bow on this Raw review. That is. We'll get into our overall review. Didi Woodson, I want to make sure we get you out of here quickly. I know you're shutting down here, so a quick overall thought on tonight's Raw.
Yeah, I got up really extra early this morning, so it's been a long day since 5 a.m. So I'm going to give it 6 stars. It was compared to the Go Home show, this was not the best. I mean, we had some high points. We had a lot of low points. And I'm already sick of this Constable crap that they have on there. I don't know why the heck they think they have to do this, but in my opinion, just put him back as a freaking wrestler and stop this crap. I mean, to me, it's past Go Home. I don't want to sit here and watch them degrade a Hall of Famer the way they're doing Kurt Angle. I mean, he deserves a lot more respect than what he's getting. So that's about all I'm going to say about it because, like I said, I'm shutting down. So I will see you tomorrow night. Good night, guys.
All right, good night, Didi. We'll see you tomorrow night immediately following SmackDown Live for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF channel Praise Fan 95. So
yeah, I thought he said 10:30.
No, he said 10.
Okay, well then I'll see you at 10.
SmackDown Live tomorrow night. So and they got a big main event of their own tomorrow night, which we'll address. So I agree with Didi's rating for the most part. I'm going to give it between 6 and 6.25 out of 10. Tonight's show started off very hot with the great Ronda Rousey segment, that very good Intercontinental title match, even though we're not happy with the outcome. And it looked like we were in for a hell of a show. And then from there, it just largely dropped into a sea of mediocrity, with a lot of cutouts and all that and some unnecessary filler. But they did do some small things to set the direction for Extreme Rules. But once the first hour ended, the show was really lethargic and ended up being a solid but not overly spectacular edition of Raw. I mean, it was a newsworthy show early, but then it lost momentum late. So, yeah, so it would have been a much higher rating, but 6.25. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, compared to the last few weeks, I mean, that's actually better than what we've been giving it. So, but yeah, most definitely. I mean, it started red hot. I mean, that Ronda segment was just unbelievable. And then a great Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match, which unfortunately did not go the way we wanted it to. But, it is what it is. And hopefully next week we can right the wrong. So, a transitional champion in that, but it is what it is. So nothing more to say on this. I'm gonna give it about 6.25 out of 10. I think Didi nailed the rating spot on. So Bullock, let's get your overall thoughts, and then I'll get into my Tony stake. So
You gave it 6 to 6.25, right?
correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to give it to. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's you pretty much touched on everything for when it comes to what we saw here tonight. So there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So let's get right to your Tony stake.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna start it off like we always do with 205 Live, and here's how 205 Live went down. Of course, it delivered as always. Started it off with a 6-man tag team matchup. The Lucha House Party squaring off against Drew Gulak, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and the Brian Kendrick. The winners of the match in 15 minutes and 5 seconds. The Lucha House Party pick up the win. To me, this was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. Very good and fun opener, with the match playing off the established feud. And while Lucha House Party picked up the win, this feud is far from over, as they had to resort to playing the tricks of their opponents to overcome. But they play the styles clash well here, and it delivered. And then we had Akira Tozawa in a squash match. Some ham and egger beat him in about 2.5 minutes. He got a win in a solid squash to get some momentum back after his loss to Hideo Itami. And then the main event of the evening, Mustafa Ali against the premier athlete Tony Nese. Mustafa Ali wins the match 10 minutes and 3 seconds with the 054. 3.25 stars, second best fight of the night. Good main event, with Mustafa getting the win to set up the big triple threat on the next show, which I'll get into in a minute. They also kept the issues between Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy going, and that could also lead to an Alexander and Ali versus Nese Murphy tag match down the road. But next week, tomorrow night on 205 Live, Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, and Hideo Itami will square off in a triple threat match. Man, that's going to be hella fun. No doubt about it. 7.25 out of 10. Good show with good wrestling that played off of the events of the previous show and before. Lucha House Party over Gulak, Gallagher, and Kendrick in the first trios battle. Very good match. Akira Tozawa got back on the winning track. Mustafa Ali picked up a big win to set up the next triple threat. And Tony Nese is now officially aligned with Buddy Murphy. So, yeah, Nese wasn't really cutting it as a babyface. So I guess they turned him face for a brief period, but he's much better off as a cocky and egotistical heel. So, yeah, putting him with Murphy, that's a great pairing, I think. So, 205 Live continues to deliver. That's all there is to say on that. So, easily a 7.25 out of 10. No question about it. So, very much looking forward to that triple threat tomorrow night. I don't know if it'll be a 5-star or not, but I think it's going to come pretty damn close. So that's all I can say on that. I'm thinking 4.5. That's my early rating going in. So nothing more to say here. Let's just move on to the Impact review. And, well, I can honestly say this one will not be as positive. First time in a while, this show actually took a step back. So with that said, let's move on. We started it off with an in-ring segment with Eddie Edwards, basically going psycho here. It was supposed to be Grado. Grado was supposed to be in a match, but then Eddie Edwards came out and beat the hell out of Grado, and then Eddie Edwards just went off and off, mainly on Tommy Dreamer. And Tommy Dreamer came out, and then Eddie just beats the holy hell out of him. And segment of the night, no doubt about it. This was a great opening segment to follow up on last week and Eddie's unhinged character. And Eddie saved us from a Grado match, which is welcome. And I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to lead to a bout between Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer down the road. We'll see. So nothing more to say on that. Taya Valkyrie against Rebel in our first match of the night. Taya Valkyrie wins 5 minutes, 40 seconds. Yeah, this was not good. 1.5 stars. It was slow, boring, no sense of urgency. Just going to park it there. Then we had a tag team match, KM and Fallah Bahh against the Cult of Lee. Cult of Lee wins in 3.5 minutes. Yeah, this was actually worse. This was the worst fight of the night. 1 star. Not good at all. 3 minutes of action to break up the oddball team, and outside of Fallah Bahh being fun, it felt like a waste of time, and it was a waste of time. Number 1 contenders match, which was taped at Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. Moose against Eli Drake. The winner of the match will face Austin Aries for the World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary next month. Winner of the match, 8 minutes and 42 seconds. And the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship is Moose. Moose wins it. 2.5 stars. Solid match, but between the partially dead setting and the fact that this was not worked like a big-time fight, or like there were any important stakes attached, we were treated to a fine house show outing where they largely played the hits. But considering what this was supposed to be, an important number 1 contenders match, it felt like a disappointment and very poor planning on the part of the company. But Moose does move on to the Slammiversary main event. He will face Austin Aries for the title on July 22nd. No disqualification match. Tessa Blanchard against Kiera Hogan. Tessa Blanchard wins 8 minutes, 17 seconds. Believe it or not, this was the fight of the night for me. 3-star match. Good and easily the best match on the show. Hogan got to show a lot of fire in the bout, while Tessa was more ruthless and picked up the nice rebound win. And then we had El Hijo del Fantasma against OVE's Jay Christ. Fantasma wins. I don't have a time of the fall. I'm sorry. Another 1-star match. It was short and quite frankly not good. But the post-match angle was interesting and hopefully plays into something fun over the next few weeks. And then we had the X Division Championship on the line. Matt Sydal defending against Brian Cage. Winner of the match in 6 minutes and 7 seconds via a countout. And still X Division champion, it was Matt Sydal. I can only give it 2 stars. It was okay while it lasted, but ultimately came up as a disappointment as I have no interest in Brian Cage against Congo Kong. Hopefully they have some sort of explanation as to why Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong got involved on the next show. Maybe we'll get a rematch at Slammiversary. So really nothing more to say. 5.5 out of 10. This was not a good show. I mean, it's usually Impact Wrestling lately had been a solid show that flowed well and rolled along well as an episodic show, and sometimes can be quite good. Unfortunately, this past show was not. It was lacking in a big way. The show started off good with the Eddie Edwards angle, which I am enjoying, but they dropped into a series of bad with Taya Valkyrie and Rebel. KM and Fallah Bahh and the Cult of Lee. That was largely useless. The Moose and Drake fight was solid, but I didn't like the presentation of it. That killed the importance of it. Tessa Blanchard, Kiera Hogan was good and easily the best fight on the show. Fantasma and Jay Christ was a nothing match, but the post-match set up some fun possibilities moving forward. And finally, the main event felt like a cop-out with a cheap count-out finish. I can appreciate them trying with Congo Kong, but I felt that getting him involved with Brian Cage devalues Brian Cage easy. It's fine that they wanted to save the title match for the pay-per-view, but would have rather them delay it by other means than do this as a potential Cage Kong match that does not interest me. Impact usually is an easy watch, but this time around, it was a rare week off for them. So, yeah, this was not so good, I'm sorry to say. So, I can only give it 5.5. That's the best I can go. So, with that being said, let's move on to what we can expect on this week's show. All right, let me just find it here. Okay, let's see. Okay. This will be on the next show. We had a promo with KM. Fallah Bahh, I believe, will be involved in that as well. We're just going to park it there. Scott Steiner against KM in a match. Pentagon Jr. and El Hijo del Fantasma against OVE. Madison Rayne will go up against Taya Valkyrie. And LAX will score off against... Well, actually, LAX will challenge Z&E, DJ Z and Andrew Everett for the World Tag Team Championship. So, if I missed anything, I apologize. So, that's all I can give you for this upcoming week's show. Thursday night, 8 Eastern, Pop Television. Check it out. And that's it. Ridiculously Raw for this week is in the books. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, trying to see something here. All right. Tomorrow night, immediately following SmackDown Live, hop on over to MF's channel, BraceFan95, as we will have another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Not only are we going to get into SmackDown Live, but we are also going to review NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 as well. So an NXT TakeOver Chicago review, and we're also going to review SmackDown Live. I don't know if MF has anything in the Mikey's mindset. They'll probably let us know tomorrow night. So that'll be at 10 p.m. immediately following SmackDown Live over on MF's channel, BraceFan95. And then Friday night, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25. Join us for an all-new edition, for a special edition of Strictly Sports. It was announced, Derek announced it about an hour ago. It is official. I had a feeling we were going to be doing this. I'm not at all surprised. It is going to be our 2018 NBA Draft Recap Special. Yes, we're going to recap the 2018 NBA Draft, just like we did a couple months ago with the NFL Draft. Our team by team grades for all the teams, and we'll see how that goes. So that's all going down Friday night, 2018 NBA Draft Recap. And then next week, of course, we'll be back here for Ridiculously Raw, which will be in San Diego. And, we'll talk about Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler's IC title rematch. And tomorrow night on SmackDown Live, I forgot to mention a huge main event, a gauntlet match with Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, The Miz, Rusev, and New Day member Big E Langston. And the winner of that match will face the phenomenal AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. So a huge main event tomorrow night on SmackDown Live, which will be in Toledo, Ohio. So that's something to look forward to there. So I just wanted to address that elephant real quick. So that's it. So I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Flair here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, and of course, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday, and until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF, BraceFan95. You've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.